Did you know that the two greatest British artists of the 20th century were also best friends? Although Francis Bacon was over a decade older than Lucian Freud, their meeting in the mid-1940s sparked an instant and lasting friendship between the two men. For the next 25 years, they would see each other almost every day. Freud's second wife later recalled that she saw Bacon for dinner nearly every night for more or less the whole of her marriage to Lucian. The pair painted each other several times, including Bacon's triptych, 3 Studies of Lucian Freud, in 1969. It was sold in November 2013 for $142 million, which at the time was the highest price paid at auction for a work of art. Yet Francis Bacon and Lucian Freud had a falling out, for reasons that neither men fully explained publicly. Bacon lived in Rees Mews, his studio in South Kensington, from 1962 onwards, and in 1978, Bacon saw Barry Jewell, who had moved in next door, repairing a neighbour's television, and he invited him over for champagne. They remained friends until the artist's death in 1992. Barry Jewell has said that Freud's friendship with Bacon was tainted by Freud's jealousy and that he cut Francis off completely, much to Francis's surprise, and never ever relented. There seems to be another element of contention, however. Bacon's 2 figures, painted in 1953, which Freud refers to as the Buggers, an early masterpiece of Bacon's showing 2 nude men wrestling each other. The painting had ended up in Freud's possession, as we can see here in the background. Bacon told Barry Jewell how the late art critic David Sylvester sold 2 figures to Freud for £80. When Jewell expressed astonishment at the low price, Bacon replied, "I had to give £20 of it to David Sylvester as a commission, and I got £60 for it." Freud kept it at his house and never allowed it to be borrowed, much to Bacon's fury, especially as he wanted it for his 1985 Tate retrospective. When Bacon asked Freud to borrow the painting for the show, he received the reply, "There is nothing worse than looking at an empty wall with a nail in it." And that was the nail in the coffin for the friendship. In 1988, Jewell was sipping whiskey with Bacon at his studio, who had just finished painting, when the phone rang. It was Freud, wanting Bacon to attend a supper for a forthcoming exhibition. Jewell said the conversation was short and curt. Only a few words were spoken, with a red-faced Francis slamming the receiver down so hard the wall shook. He angrily returned to his drink, swearing with the foulest language, which was unusual for him. He then muttered, "Never lends me his 2 figures painting, and now he wants this?" The last time the 2 artists saw each other was in 1991, a year before Bacon's death. Barry Jewell was with him in a Marylebone cafe when Freud walked in. "I saw Francis stiffen," he said. "Lucian did a double take, but marched right past him. Later I quizzed Francis about what just happened, as I was sure Francis was up for a reconciliation, but he just sighed and said, 'That's the way things are.'"